As one lives their life, there quickly becomes an understanding of the world that is warped. We are born into a world that has a truth, one that we are doomed to never be able to understand. But it's worth it to question our understanding, for if we do this, our understanding of our lives on this earth and our place in it changes. It becomes more profound, more worthwhile, more beautiful. Because truly, no epiphany was found through a walk thinking that all that you saw was the same and therefore known. For what you know is merely a perception. Everything anyone knows is a rounding error compared to everything that exists in this world. We are creatures guided by our own perceptions, but these perceptions shift, and oftentimes they become flawed. And I, as a human myself, know not of how one might go about determining an objective truth about their reality. But I can say my experience in what is righteous and what is good about questioning what you know. It is said many a time that life is about the journey and not the destination. And I might agree with this. For indeed, there is much more to see here than there will be in the grave. But the same can be said for our perceptions and questioning them. It's less about the answer to the question, for oftentimes we won't be able to figure it out. But even if we do, the answer that we determine will be incorrect. Therefore, we settle upon the discovery that it is the question in itself that brings so much hope and light and prosperity to this world that we live in. For a man that lives his life every day thinking that he knows the correct way about things is one doomed to disappoint both himself and his brethren. As I walk on this planet, next to all the rest of you, profound thoughts enter my mind. And on occasion it's easy to think that these thoughts are my own, that no other could think in such a way as to question things at the level that I do. But as always, this is a fallacy. Our minds convince us that what we believe and what we know, what we have determined to be true, is something only known to ourselves. We do not trust ourselves. And this is a strength in many ways, because not trusting your perception allows you to delve deeper into why you have your perceptions, to the point where one day you might trust them. But it's also a great tragedy. For what you know at any given point in your life is merely a fraction. And this is obvious. But what many do not think of is how this fraction changes over your lifetime. I'm sure all of you have seen people change as they age. Perhaps they get more stubborn in their old age, begin to believe things that you don't think anyone could possibly be led to believe, begin to act erroneously. And yet you do not look inward to yourself and notice the exact same patterns. For what is important in this life, I believe, is the constant state of flow. The earth is composed much of water in terms of what truly matters. There's a preciously thin scale of life on the surface of this giant rock we call home. And intermixed throughout all of it is water. Not just literally, but figuratively as well. For water flows, and so too do our lives here. Yet some make efforts to stop this flow, change themselves in ways that alter the purity of this water. The questioning of reality is thinly disguised as the questioning of self, and vice versa. It appears throughout your life that many things you come to know you couldn't have possibly known before because you did not have the information. But perhaps you weren't ready. And perhaps you'll go back on this. The question is the most important part of all that you do. For it is the love that keeps on giving, keeps on bringing prosperity to the lands. All of us exist as members of this great flow of water. Yet precious few of us attempt to embrace it. This water we live in is so pure. Should you choose to put down your smartphone for a moment and look outside, you'll see a beauty unmatched by anything that could be represented on a screen. And this is everywhere. This is all over the world. And any place where it is not is perception. People take action that causes hardship unto their brethren. People disturb the flow. But the flow in itself is not evil. We in ourselves are not evil. For we are members of the flow, just as any other living thing. Just as anything that is green, anything that is blue, anything that walks or crawls or swims or flies. We are of the same matter, and all of us have a place in the great stream of life. I believe embracing this stream, this figurative anomaly of our lives that we live in today, is the key to a life lived truly happy. For what is happiness? If it is not something to be obtained, if it cannot be gotten one day and never taken away, and it is a state, then what is this state? And you could name thousands of things on this planet that could induce this state. But none delve to the root of it, of what truly makes you feel that way, of what truly brings light to your life at its very core. And I think you'll find, as you continue to question, that the core of all that we are is rooted in a deep-set love and care for where we're from. And even those that appear to hate, even those that appear to blame their fellow members of the great stream, still so they love it. For if they did not, they would not be here. One has the choice at any given time in their lives. And yet all of us, every single person alive, has made that choice. For a body that does not want to live will not. A heart that does not want to beat will cease. A lung that does not wish to draw in air will quit blowing. You have chosen this life already. It is evidenced in your continuation of your presence here. now. The only factor is to embrace it. And I wish you well in this endeavor. Thank you for watching.